Yo, what's going on, y'all? So, what we got to talk about is a horoscope forecast for Pisces and Scorpio. You secret service espionage mother. Alright, let's get into it, right? So, for those of you who know, I do this my way. I think synastry is stupid. That's just me, you know what I'm saying? So, what I do is I compartmentalize the planets and how it pertains to the different signs so that you'll be able to see it on a even scale, if you will, because to me, wherever the sun is at, that's where both of you concentration and focus is at, right? So at least you'll be able to know where the focus and concentration of your significant other, your lover, is, right? Now, same thing with Mercury. If you talk about Mercury as like conjunct Pluto, your partner's Pluto and everything, you're gonna get a bit confused because that's the personal power and the transformation against, your communication style. And it's just like, yeah, okay, that might clash or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to communication, just talk about how you communicate with each other and how it could be effectively and how it may be, doing some disservice. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I compartmentalize according to the horoscope, meaning these planets that I talk about and the houses that they're in are going to be in the places that they would be if you were to read your horoscope. All right. I would say to pay attention to the numbers of the houses that I'm going to speak about all the time that I do these forecasts because it's going to signify the intent and the result of what it is that these planets are going to be doing there. So for Pisces and Scorpio, what we got going on? All right, for Pisces, the sun is in the sixth house. Of course, this is for the next 2 weeks, by the way. Pisces sun is in Leo, which represents so the concentration, the focus, the lights are turned on in Pisces, house of health, routine, and work environment. And the sun and the lights is turned on in Scorpio's 10th house of career, ambition, recognition, status. And then it verges into Virgo for the 11th house of the Scorpio. So this is what it means if you're paying attention to each other, which you should be if you are together. And, maybe if you don't live together and stuff like that, you can still keep tabs on each other. You know how that go. You know what I'm saying? Especially y'all want to track each other down and shit like that. So if that should be the case, right, this is what you're going to be seeing. You're going to be seeing Pisces, you're going to be seeing the Scorpio be more confident in showing themselves. Not only showing themselves, but showing themselves according to something that they do, something that they're recognized for. It might even be something new. Who knows? They might be starting something off new because the 10th house is a cardinal area. You know what I mean? So don't be surprised if you see something like that. If you see something entrepreneurial taking place, whether you're checking them out online or whatever the case may be. Now, knowing that you know that now and the concentration and their focus is there, you'll be able to better effectively communicate to them. You know what I'm saying, Pisces? Now, Scorpio at the same time, you'll be able to do a mental health check on your Pisces. So I don't think this is a good time to do any type of emotional manipulation. I'm accusing you, right? But Scorpio, I'm serious, you know what I'm saying? Even if you just testing the waters to see the slightest thing, you know what I'm saying? Because Pisces can be going through something very mental at the moment. Because the lights is on in their sixth house. So what I'm saying is you'll be able to see, Scorpio, with your power, you'll be able to see if this Pisces is, okay, or if something is bothering them. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get to the communication part when I start discussing Mercury next. But just be conscious of that. You know what I mean? Now, you may see your Pisces not only in the work field, of course, or thinking about work, but you may see them showing their ass a little bit. What I mean is like taking photos of themselves. Like they might get an outfit and they might put it on and dress up and start taking photos of it and shit like that. And it's really not trying to get somebody else or shack up with somebody. Now that could be the effect of it though. You know what I'm saying? Because the sun will go into Virgo very soon, right? So that's going to be Pisces' 7th house. So the ability to attract a partner when that time comes, because it's the 7th house, will be simple. It'll be more easier. So I'd say, be mindful of that, but you don't have to jump the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know these things now. But I'm saying that Pisces will probably be doing this to get themselves out of a mental rut. They might be going through something to where they're having an identity crisis or, just don't have the ego like they usually, and not saying like they usually do, because Pisces are more along the lines of being egoless unless they have some type of aspected thing going on in their chart that states otherwise. So when the sun does come in Leo, they have the tendency to pop up and show up and turn the cameras on and do their one too, especially photography. You're talking about a Pisces, you know what I'm saying? So if they popping photos up and stuff like that with their new gear on and they got some old wise caption on top of it and shit like that, I wouldn't take it too serious. I wouldn't get mad. They just bringing themselves up, pepping themselves up, and reminding themselves that they do have an ego. Now, remind you, when they get to the 7th, and the ladies start flocking under their photos and shit like that, or the men start flocking at them under their photos and stuff like that, just be aware that I warned you. Even in courtship, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be turning heads. The light is going to be on them in the 6th house and the 7th house. So if they're looking stellar as the sun is still in Leo, you could expect them to turn some heads. If they're looking stellar when it comes to the 7th house, they're definitely going to attract the opposite. I should have said people who are attracted to them. Let me say it like that. So let's get to Mercury. Mercury is in Virgo in the 7th house for Pisces, and in Virgo for the 11th house of Scorpio. Real quick, I want to say this as well, right? Like with the sun going into Virgo in the 11th house for Scorpio Pisces, be mindful that this is when they're going to be networking in a place where they can get in tune with their friends and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So by that time, your sun will be in Virgo in the 7th house. So that can inspire you to actually do some type of business endeavor together. Think about it. The sun going to be turned on in the 7th house of Pisces. That's contracts, right? Business and personal, more along the lines of business. And Scorpio is going to have the lights turned on where they're networks and friendships that bring dreams into fruition. It's more of the corporate circle. So just be mindful of that. The lights will be turned on there for you to see at least how it looks. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to determine whether that's something that you want to go through it or not. So back to Virgo and Mercury and, right, the 7th and the 11th house for these two. This is the communication style, right? So the Scorpio is going to be communicating on a level that is going to be looking for true friendship, not just the borderline stuff. True friendship. How can, you know what I'm saying? What is it that you can do for me? What is it that I can do for you? How can we be reciprocal? This does not have to be touchy, feely. This can be straight to the point, bring some clarity, make sure it makes sense. Can we speak about this in an objective manner so that we don't get all subjective and into our feels about this? Both of y'all emotional water signs, so you know how this can go. You know what I mean? Can you vibe with that? Pisces, with you having Mercury inside of the 7th house, it could get tricky if you're doing the I work with my spouse thing, you know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, you can't listen to everybody. Everything is not a one size fit all. So when some people say, money in business, and I mean, friendship in business or partnerships in business don't mix and stuff like that. Come on. How many successful business people do you know who are couples who do business together, right? So it's not a one size fit all. You can't be scared of those types of things. This is the time for you to communicate about these types of things, at least to find out how you feel about it. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when the sun is where it's at. It's like it'll enhance when you do make networks and friends that help bring your dreams and wishes into fruition. And to be able to solidify contracts is going to be right there in front of you to be able to do such a thing. So I would say to talk about it. Now, we got the planet Venus inside of Leo for the 6th house for Pisces and in the 10th house of Leo for Scorpio. So Scorpio could show out too, and I can attest to this. I was just watching a Scorpio not too long ago, and they was showing out. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting, very intriguing for me. And this is how I can even attest to this relationship even more at this moment. It's just that my bells started ringing off in my head on how I could do business with this Scorpio. And we even had a conversation about it and both agreed to it. I'm just a bit slow on making it happen, which is, I can't even say it's unfortunate. I just got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? That could be the downside of looking at social media a little bit more than you should be when you got other things to do, because you could prematurely jump out there and get people excited about what you're doing or things that you plan on doing, but you're not taking heed to the calendar that you got filled up already. You know what I'm saying? But with Venus being inside of Leo, Pisces is just really like I mean, it all depends, really. Pisces may be spending money, but spending money on things that are relative to work. So investing back into what it is that they do for work in order to get more money. Their thoughts are going to be lofty right now. So they got their mind set on probably something new, whether it's a location, it could be a new place, it could be a new job, it could be traveling somewhere, just new, and brightness. They're really trying to be upbeat about this situation. So that's more along the lines of where they're going to be spending their money at. Now, Scorpio, I would say it's kind of like the same thing. But with Scorpio, they're going to be spending their money where more along the lines of on themselves for appeal. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to want to look good. They're going to want to look the part for whatever it is that they're putting themselves out there for, because it falls inside of their 10th house. So it's going to be like, yeah, looking the part. You know what I'm saying? Like, it only makes sense. So expect them to be invested in themselves at this type of time as well. You see how this partnering up, 6th house, 10th house, work environment, 6th house, 10th house, corporate appeal. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great time for you two to gel well should you be on a serious note. I'd say serious about your work. You know what I'm saying? Let me put it that way, because you might do something that you have a ball doing. So you don't have to be too serious, right? But just serious at getting it done and doing what it is that you love that's work related. Now you got Mars inside of the sign of Taurus, Pisces, which will be going into Gemini very shortly, which will be your 4th house. So the money thing is probably coming to a head now. Well, it is coming to a head now for Pisces, and it's really reached its pinnacle. So Pisces is it's charging ahead for money, but at the same time, if it's not paying enough, they're not going to take it. They're not going to want to take it. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to take whatever deal is on the table. They're going to be shopping around until they get the highest bidder, especially right now because the planet is at 20-something degrees, which means it's at its most mature part. So where the money at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the real money at? Don't play with me. So that's how Pisces is on it right now. And when it gets to Gemini, Scorpio, you're going to have to be aware of this because Mars is going to be going into your 7th and 8th house. So if you are trying to like take action, especially type of desirable sexual action towards Pisces right now, it might be backfiring because Pisces is so focused on money right now. This is where y'all can have a bit of conflict or be missing each other, right? And then when it gets into Gemini for the two of you, you're going to have to catch this Pisces at home if you're going to jump their bones. I'm just keep it official with you, Scorpio. You know how that stalker move can come into hand and come in handy. This is a good time where you'll be able to use it when Mars goes into Gemini, because the Pisces is going to want to be on some homebody shit. Now, they might be irritable, though. They might be on that mood swinging shit. So be aware of that. But when some sex gets involved, Pisces is probably going to be a sucker for that. So it'll probably change their whole mood around, which is a plus, right? And then you could get them, back into being more relaxed, or, maybe even wanting to stay home, because the Pisces might not want to stay home with Mars being there. Mars is not comfortable in the 4th house. Mars might want to dart out, despite having made some money with Mars being in Taurus. They're going to be like, fuck that. I still want to go out. I want a bigger home. I want a bigger car. I want bigger. And for no reason at all. They may not need none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it just may happen that way. So y'all work it out like that. If there's going to be any conflict or any war, it's going to be because one might not be staying home when you're trying to have sex, Scorpio, straight up, because Mars is going into the 8th house, which is Gemini for you, and you're going to be like, listen, you're going to want to communicate that right about now. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to the transitional planets and talk about how you two can be looking forward to transition, starting with Jupiter being in Aries in the 2nd house for Pisces now. Money is the issue, and that's on the for shizzle, my nizzle. So where they're going retrograde, keep in mind it's going to be some internalizing. So it might not be as much action as you would expect with the Pisces, being that it's in Jupiter and it's grandiose and it's lofty. Pisces might really be thinking about, oh shit, like I said before in the other video, I fumbled the bag on this last time. And it might not appear to this Pisces that they fumbled the bag or they fucked up a bag. You know what I'm saying? Until now. that they're internalizing what they're doing with their money and stuff like that. They might have some downloads or some, some psychic shit that they had going on. They might have avoided their intuition that told them to do something better as far as an investment goes. And now they're dwelling on that and they're like, oh man, I got to fix that. So they're probably trying to fix something as far as managing money. Either something was above their means or they were playing too small. It could be that too. It might be that they was playing too small too. So to better check up on these things, I would say to look, if y'all know each other's charts and stuff like that, just look at the degrees of your planets, because that's how you'll know if you're living amongst your means or beyond your means, or how much to do when it comes to these planets. You know what I'm saying? So now the networking, the Pisces is going to be looking at the failures of networks that they had during this time. They're going to be looking at that. They're going to be scaling that real carefully. They might be cutting some people off that are no good for them, that are not healthy for them, that have not helped them thrive and, achieve the things that they want to do, that are not optimistic. If there's some real Debbie Downers around the Pisces when it comes to like false flagging, like fraud, and they're like, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and they ain't do that shit, Pisces is going to be cutting them off. You could look forward to that, and just hopefully you're not one of them. You know what I'm saying? If y'all were doing business together, this is how you would know, Scorpio, if they think you a fraud or not, because they're going to be playing, they're going to be acting funny with you. You know what I'm saying? So, but on the other note, for Scorpio, Aries is the 6th house for you. So you're going to be similarly doing the same type of thing, but it's going to come to the work environment. Now, this might be everyday work, like wage work, you know what I'm saying? Salary work or whatever the case may be. So you might be looking at your coworkers like, yo, I feel like just punching them in the lip right now. Like, I'm tired of this. You know what I mean? Don't do it. I'm not suggesting you do it, but it might really cross your mind right now. Like, yo, because they touched something for the 12th time and you're just like, yo, I know they remember I told them not to touch my stuff, or something like that, right? Like, you could be irritated about the people who are around you on a routinely basis that do not meet your standard of quality, Scorpio. And this can be irritable. This can make you irritable. So Pisces, pay attention to that. If Scorpio is in a mood swing or whatever the case may be, it's probably going to be work related. It's probably because they don't feel like they've reached the level that they should have reached. And this is healthy stuff though, y'all, for the both of you, because at least you're going to be able to understand that you internalize these things so you can transition. If you don't do this work, you're not going to be able to transition. So I would say not to ignore this, and don't take things so personal this time around with these two planets being Jupiter and Saturn in retrograde, because these are both transitional planets. And if you pay more attention to the personal planets and ignore these planets, you can miss your cue to transition into a real well-weighted place that you've both been waiting to get into. So there may be some things that Scorpio is looking into with their health as well. Some dieting, what has worked before, what is not working now. There might be some weight gain that has occurred, Scorpio. And now you're looking into that like, yo, I gotta reverse this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the fuck this happened, but it's a little bit much. You know what I'm saying? So you might be looking to change your diet during this time, Scorpio. And Pisces might be sarcastic and tell you about it too. Like, yo, you still, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they talking about a joke, they're serious. So pay attention to that. All right. So, like I was saying, speaking about Saturn, is retrograde inside of the sign Aquarius for Pisces, which is their 12th house under the solar dial. And for Scorpio, it's in the 4th house. So this is like kind of like vice versa, because the 12th house rules over bed pleasures. So, Scorpio will be home around this time, but see, it differs here because this is about work. See, I be doing too much OnlyFans stuff lately. You gotta pardon me. You know what I'm saying? See, it hit different when you talk about people who do OnlyFans and you got these couples out there and all that. So we live in a different age now, y'all. So, but there might be some work being done around the house with the Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? But the challenge can be, Scorpio, is that you're gonna be looking how to do work at home on the internet, and that's not always, we're still in that shift where that shit is not solidified yet to be making money from home. So like KRS says, shout out to KRS channel, planets, when they go through Aquarius now are behaving like they're in Cancer. This is a very interesting time if you're doing hard work, the Saturn type of work. You're trying to obtain authority inside of the sign that it's in, which is Aquarius, on the internet in some type of way, or dealing with electronics. Imagine how that can impact your home. So an example is say you're working from home on the internet. Like say you're doing what I'm doing right now. Like, and this just starts to really bring in some revenue, some serious revenue. You know what I'm saying? This is something that Scorpio can be looking at and be like, oh shit, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? You might take it even more serious to the point where you really land something. Pisces, is it be a good time for you to get in the sack with the Scorpio, just period. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Pisces might be overworked doing something relative to the 12th house and miss the cue on that. So, you know, it's up in the air. It's really about the hormones, I guess, right now. It's really about the attraction levels right now and what means more, work or life. And if you get the balance, then y'all can make this happen if it comes to letting the sparks fly. You understand what I'm saying? Now, astrology can do both of you some justice should you work in astrology. But if you don't, you know, everybody doesn't. If you don't, you might still be able to benefit by paying attention to astrology. But definitely, I would say both of y'all get into the, like, you heard what I said, like 6th and 10th house, 7th and 11th house. These houses really do well for the two of you when it comes to routine, work, labor, and making something of yourselves. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all could take the time out and do some work online on the internet, especially right now, even if you just got to be in the planning stages right now, which is okay because Saturn is in retrograde, you should be doing more internalizing to see things that you've began on the internet to things that you can fix now that you know some more things. Y'all should kick it with each other about that. I'm going to just keep it official. If I was you, I would. You know what I mean? See how you could play with it, toy with it. You know, marketing could be involved, advertising, because we're talking about the internet. The internet is so special because you don't have to be in the moment. You don't have to do everything right now, because once you do put together whatever piece of content that's going to be distributed on the internet, you could just press a few buttons and you could distribute it all around the world where they have internet. You know what I'm saying? So imagine how much you can catch up with the times because of that ability. Keep that in mind. That's it for Scorpio and Pisces. I'm out, y'all. Till next time.